store. I actually haven't been to the shop since Friday because I was at Dragon Con in Atlanta until yesterday and got back kind of late. So anyway, here to answer any questions about swords and to show off cool swords. This is one of the latest that we have acquired. This is a 500-ish year old sword with a beautiful hamon line. This is a signed Taira Takata sword. Taira Takata, they are not very well loved by collectors. Basically, they're considered to be somewhat ugly swords, but they are swords that are influenced by the Bizen tradition, which is in itself very popular. However, Takata swords, not so much. This one's in pretty good shape. There are a few places where there are openings in the steel, and this is not uncommon. Basically, when you're dealing with um, uh, I can't even talk right now, a 700-year-old technology, which is the folding of tamahagane, you're bound to have this kind of issue. But this one is in otherwise pretty healthy condition. It is a pretty big buff sword. And so we will be eventually posting this on our website. Once again, I was at Dragon Con this weekend and I'm just getting back now, and we'll eventually get to this. Hey, Artie Percy, good evening all. That's basically just you and me right now. Anyway, check this out here. And so this is one of the swords that I just got. And then another one we just got is even longer. It's actually one of the longest swords we ever saw. Hello, Nightwalkers. Hello, Ahmed. Ahmed, I didn't actually send it. I was at my regular day job, and Scott and Matt must have sent it for you because they were in the shop today. So I hope you love it when you get it. Let's see. This is the other sword that we got recently, and this is probably the longest sword that we have for sale. It comes in at about 33 inches. Hey, Steve Hotchberger. Love when you guys post new stuff. Thank you, Zach. And so this one here is a pretty long, massive blade. I believe the Nagasa is 33 inches. It's we say it's an old polish. This one has an old certification. So it came a certification from before the current grading system. I actually tried to get them to get a new one, but because of some basic bureaucratic red tape, they said they had to ship it sooner, and sometimes makes me wonder. But anyway, did you think over what I asked you 1 month ago? Not sure I don't remember what you asked, Nightwalker. Let's see. Good evening, Tungsten Goat. Great to have you. No, these are not S5. These are made of tamahagane. This is a 500-year-old sword. This one is a tsukemono. Tsukemono. Tsukemono is actually a pickled good that Japanese people like to eat. This is tsukemune. So this is made, excuse me, by the same smith who made the original osaraku. Excuse me. Wow. So, but yeah, this is what we call old polish. This is basically, excuse me, the sword in its natural form. I can't say I've examined this super carefully, but it is also a fairly healthy blade. I don't see any, I thought there were what are called hagire, but there are actually no hagire on it. And what's really cool about this is that this one has two, or is that one or two? I'm sorry, that was my glasses. I'm doing my astigmatism here. But you'll see there is a spot there, which is basically it is battle damage from another sword. So that's pretty cool. Do we have any Korean swords? We do have one. But we don't otherwise have, we only have that one. Do I swallow swords? I have never tried that. So anyway, and I don't plan on it either. That's kind of scary in my opinion. But once again, you can see the battle damage on this particular sword right there. And so basically, I was actually an interesting panel at Dragon Con. I was one of the martial arts experts on it. And what one of them was saying was that, actually you don't want to take a blow on the flat of the blade, that the blade is stronger from side to side. You don't want to do it on your edge because you don't want to chip your edge. So the spine is actually a pretty common place. And so I was always wondering why I've seen more damage on the spine than I did on the edge, because this thick line called the shinogi is one of the places where you'd want to see, where you would deflect. Dragon Con was pretty fun, Steve. It was really great to see some people. I personally prefer European-style blades over katana. Well, I mean, we all have our preferences, so yeah. How much does the old sword cost? We started about $800 or so, and then go up into the thousands. How did you get into these? Quite accidentally. I am an author by trade, and that's why I was at Dragon Con. I was basically on some panels for fantasy. And back in 2018, I got my first sword to start to take pictures of my books with a sword for Instagram. And one sword led to 3 swords, as they usually do, or in Steve's case, 80, 90 swords. And so, yeah, one sword became 3 swords, became 20 swords, became a wife who said I had too many swords. And I did have an open space inside my martial arts school, so we started selling swords out of there. Yes, thank you, Artie Percy just posted our website, rvakatana.com. How much does my sword cost? I don't know. Oh, Mitsuri, 150 bucks. We have Mitsuri sword for 150, unless you want it in wood, which is 50. Are S5 strong enough to take a blow on the back of the blade? Yes. Um, in fact, in fact, if you check out JS Bladecraft here on YouTube, you will see him take one and smash it up against a rock, and it's fine. However, you will see a video in the near future where Matt Jensen, Swordbreaker extraordinaire, does smash an S5 up against a his croquet stick of doom, and it does break. But I mean, with enough abuse, it will break. My preference for bladed weapons is large knives, axes, and tomahawks. Awesome. You love what you love. Let's see. Hey man, I'm new. Can you please shout out, please? Assassinero, welcome. Beautiful sword, thank you. Can you have a free sword? No, you cannot. So anyway, yeah. But S5 is probably super durable. And I just learned something new because talking about Matt Jensen about the sword he broke, I forgot that Cloudhammer had changed the heat treatment. So S5, basically you can take any steel and during the tempering process, that's basically you heat it and quench it. And then after you quench it, you temper it. That's where you put it back into the flame of heat at a lower heat for a certain amount of time to take out some of the warpage and stresses. Staves are used a lot. Are they actually effective in combat? That's hard to say. I do not make katanas. I like the fitting on that sword. So do I. It's a pretty cool. Look at that Tsuba. It is pretty cool. Let's see. Is S5 the strongest? I don't know if it's the absolute strongest. When it comes down to it, it's heat treatment and geometry. So anyway, going back to that, during the tempering process, that is one of the ways that you end up with either a very hard edge or very durable. And so Cloudhammer has a means of doing S5 at either a 60 HRC with 140 joules of resistance to impact, or 56 HRC and 186 joules. So we're probably going to start carrying two different types. I'm kind of excited about that. A Neo not temper for the second stage. My bad, Smika. Let's see. Tengu 190, follow him. He has a pretty cool, he teaches swords not far from us. Let's see. The crude and brutal, yet some finesse nature of those weapon manual of arms. Okay. Will Cloudhammer make a dark Riptide Wakizashi? Possibly. We do not have a Bonnie sword. I can't find anybody who will do that curve. How do you acquire a katana? Go to our website, rvakatana.com. So once again here, and for those of you who don't know, we have about 500 swords in our shop. I'm currently at home and not at the shop right now. Home is where I store all my favorites, my favorite stuff. Well, this one's not one of my favorite stuff. It is pretty cool, but I will, I'm just here to take the pictures of it. Thank you, Artie Percy, for posting it. Let's see. Anyways, do you think 15-year-olds should get into bladesmithing or no? Yeah, start early. Can I get a discount if I order more than one sword? Yes, you can. We currently discontinued, there was a weird discount code that people were abusing. So send us a message if you decide you want two swords, and we can give you a personalized coupon code until we can figure out how to do this correctly. Favorite medieval sword would be the longsword, of course. What do you think of half-tang katanas? So I think you're talking about a katateuchi, and that's the one where the tang goes to about right there. And I have no interest. I have no knowledge to really say. Does a katana need to have a hamon line to be good? Does it need to be natural? So that depends on what you want to do with your sword. If you're talking about ancient Japanese steel, then which is tamahagane, you definitely want it to be a natural hamon. But with modern day metallurgy, basically the steel is generally better than tamahagane, and so you do not need differential hardening. And in fact, differential hardening can be detrimental to the stability and the structure and the strength of the sword. Do you have any unsharpened claymore or similar swords that you sell? No, we only have sharp claymores. We are getting Tengen swords back in stock. We currently don't have them. How much do you think it would cost to get started in bladesmithing? I really don't know. English or Spanish? Are you talking about the language? I don't speak Spanish, so beyond some basics. Any more geisha blades? We do have geisha blades, but not like yours, John. You had a very custom made one. So anyway, yeah, once again, this is a super long blade. I do believe it's about 33 inches blade length or 84 centimeters. Someone can do the conversion for me if they want 84 centimeters. And you can see it does have a pretty hamon line. This was made by Skemune. It is a signed sword that has been certified. And he was a smith who was popular, who worked about 500 years ago. He is, what was I going to say about him? He's forging swords that was called the Soshu tradition, which is the one that Masamune started. Type XXIC is S5, most HEMA practitioners, and Lawn Night Dreams. If you say that, send me a message and we can figure it out. I don't know if that's something that Cloudhammer would do, but maybe. Let's see. A Harbor Freight belt sander and a cast steel anvil hammers Long-handed vice grips for under $250. There you go. Yep. Question: what are your thoughts on 65 Mn steel? Is it comparable to 1060? It's tougher than 1060. It has a very similar carbon content, but it has a greater level of not chromium, vanadium, which makes it tougher. So 65 Mn is similar to 15. It's 1566, which is a type of spring steel. So 65 Mn will be very similar edge retention to 1060, but more durable. I'm 15 and I don't really care, and power tools I have, sanders are not, are whatnot. Okay. Can I have a sword made? It depends on what you want done. If you're given 3 free Albions, which models would you pick? Wow. Well, here's the thing: is I don't know my European swords very well. I have seen a lot of Albions. I know the Alexandria looks pretty cool to me, but that's the only one that comes to mind off the top of my head. I don't know Albions well enough because it's not something that we deal in. They do, they do their own thing. But I mean, heck yeah! If you want to give me 3 free Albions, then send them my way. Why are katanas generally cheaper than the long swords? More steel. Basically, long swords are longer. They're about 90 centimeters versus most katana cap out at about 75 to 80. Hey, Kai Mara in the house. Last question. Do I have the sword from Beach? You mean Bleach? Yes, we do have swords from Bleach, but I don't have them here. They're at home. Finally, I'm in Canada and want to buy an authentic katana. Where can I get one? There are a lot of different sources. I say start with us at rvakatana.com, but you also have other options all over the place. I have been looking for a nodachi. We do have nodachi. I just don't have one here. Well, actually, I have my own here. For authentic katanas, yeah, you can definitely check us out. There are other resources as well. I would say that our antique katana are kind of on the edge of like beginning collectors, people who don't really, they just want an antique sword, but they're not really super finicky about it. So I would say if you're really getting serious about antique swords, there are better sources than us. Are you already ending the stream, right, Ryan? I might just because you joined, but no, I hadn't planned to. I feel bad for anyone that breaks into our house. It's not the swords that's going to get them, it's the gun. Guns, plural. Oldest sword I own is 800 to 1,000 years old. Long swords are typically a little harder to make, more materials, more size, yes. Are you the only S5 maker? That's debatable. There is another company that says they do S5. Whether they do or not, I don't know. I just found out that Matt Jensen took some Cloudhammer, his old Cloudhammer S7 that he broke, and then some other company's S7, and he sent them to the inventor of MagnaCut, who's a very popular knife steel for its durability, well, for its edge retention, and it's going to be metallurgically tested. It's kind of funny. I told Cloudhammer that this morning, and Cloudhammer's first question was, what did they find out about the other company? He had zero concerns about his swords not being S7, but we'll find out when the metallurgical testing only happens. I think we are 5 minutes in. Yeah, maybe 5-10 minutes. Gun collection. I don't collect guns. I just have 2 for home defense. Is there a difference between an antique katana and a high-end modern one? There's worlds of difference. Worlds of difference. It really depends on what you're looking for. Number one, an antique katana will generally be more expensive than a high-end modern one. Though that's hard to say. You get Citadel, Motahara, they're in the $3,000 range. You can get a basic Japanese sword in condition for about $2,000. But for like a certified sword, you're going to be paying about the same, $3,000 and up. The thing is that in terms of functionality, an antique sword is not going to be as durable as a modern sword. So it really depends on what you want to do with your swords. Nodachi, we started at 375. Do I work for Cloudhammer? It's a complicated relationship. That was originally the idea, but it ends up I'm just basically their distributor. I want to buy a katana, but it's illegal in my country. I am sorry about that. He has Mac 10 and Uzi, Uzi 9mm. No, yeah, here we are. Let's see. So once again, check this baby out. This is a Tsukemune. It is a 84 centimeter long blade, so it's pretty long. And it was forged by Tsukemune, who is one of the top smiths of his time, about 500 years ago. It is in the Soshu tradition, which is what Masamune started. So here we are once again, a very long sword. This one will be listed on our website in the near future, but I just got it late last week. Then I went to Atlanta for Dragon Con. Modern steel is just better, but it's hundreds to thousands of years of improvement. This is very true. What do you think of Shikomizue? Do you have one in your collection? I don't have one in my collection. I do like them. They're kind of cool. We do have some modern ones at our shop, but we don't have any here. I want a jingum made of S5. We're actually not going to do a jingum, but we are going to do a jingum. I can't remember what kind of sword, the Huando. We're doing a Huando made of S5 and a Huando made of SX105V. Is bro Demon Slayer? Definitely not. Viking swords. Yes, we do have Viking swords in shop, but I don't have them here. We have the Godfred from Hanwei, and then we have the Hanwei basic sword, and then we're going to get Ryan Sword's Viking sword back. The Viking sword from Ryan Sword is kind of a hand and a half, and it is a $225 in that range there. The Viking sword from Hanwei is 325. Hey, Willie Grills, long time no see. Let's see. RVA Katana for inventory. Yes, Artie Percy knows where to go. What is the most durable steel that we have? It's S5 shock steel. S5 shock steel is once again probably one of the more durable steels out there. That's just saying the steel in itself. Obviously, you have to look at dope. Obviously, you have to look at the heat treatment and the geometry of the blade because those will all be considerations. This is once again a sword that I just recently got. This is on the longish side. I think it is 75, 76 centimeters, and it has also about 500 years old. Is a Taira Takata. Check out the tsuba. I really like this tsuba. It's like a gourd. My personal favorite lately is Solingen made Bowie knife, 10-inch blade. Hello, Nicholas Shaw. Great to have you here. Yeah, I couldn't get my TikTok to start today. They're going through technical difficulties, and so here we are on YouTube. So unfortunately, I would have loved to have it. Do we have level layaway? Yes, you have 2 months to pay a sword off. 25% down, 2 months to pay off. Yeah. Hyotan's tuba is the common gourd tsuba. Let's see. Cost of that sword. This one's probably going to end up being about $4.5 grand, probably. I actually don't remember what I paid for it off the top of my head, so it's probably going to be around 4 to 4.5. Are you Sigma? Oh, you are so cool, Bauer. Where's that one Nihonto with the fatal flaws on it? I don't have it here. It's at the shop, but it's actually been Smitty Werbin bought it. He has a deposit on it right now. So, but it's pretty cool. I like it a lot. It does have what's called a hagide, and hagide are these little cracks in the hamon. And so you can see here, this one does not have hagide, but they're usually these little straight lines that you'll see on both sides of the edge. But so yeah, that particular sword is at the shop right now. I should bring it back here just so I can do some videos about it because I still think it's really cool. Because it was a very long sword. Yeah. Thank you for timing him out, Artie Percy. That was kind of annoying. Let's see. Is that Chinese sword? Is that a Chinese sword on the vertical stand? No, that is. I've had this for a while. I'm pretty sure you probably have seen it before, but I will show it to you again because I'm cool like that. I guess owning swords is not really super cool. This is a what do you call it? An FU style tachi, FU style tachi, and I really love this one. This is like super cool. This sword is so big; it just dominates the room wherever it's sitting. Anyway, so there we go. This is actually inside is a wooden blade, and this is the actual sword that goes into these fittings. What you'll see with antique Japanese swords is oftentimes you'll see them in shirasaya, which is to protect them, and their fittings are on the side. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm a big fan of this. This is very reminiscent of Chinese style swords. We are actually going to be getting some more modern swords in Efu style fittings. So we're getting some Cloudhammer Tamahagane in Efu fittings, and also a Hitatsura Hamon, which is like that really big fiery Hamon. So yeah, this was really cool. I got this one from Matt Jarrell. And the blade itself is 600 years old. So that's one of the cool things about it. Let me go show you this blade. This blade is 600 years old. It is attributed to the Naminahira school. Naminahira is based in Kyushu, Japan. And it's actually in really good shape. I'm Japanese and you. まあ、日本人ではないけど、妻日本人から、まあ、ちょっと日本語を喋る。Is Dao a general term for a single edge? Yes. Yeah. Yes. Let's just say that's yes. I am a blacksmith. I love making hamons with clay. Cool deal. What do you think of the quality of 5140 steel blades? I don't know enough about it. We do have 5160, but I don't know much about 5140. One of the cool things that Cloudhammer is going to be bringing out in the near future is 80 CRV, which is supposedly a really nice durable steel with excellent edge retention. But I don't know. I've never actually heard of 5140. I mean, I can kind of guess what it is. I would guess with 40, it doesn't have really great edge retention, I would assume. But that's not a huge issue when you're dealing with with swords, you really don't need like super great edge retention for what most people use swords for. So yeah, this is also, I like big swords. This is has a nagasa, a length. Well, it's 31 inches or so, so 80 some centimeters. So most of my swords are big and long. How long will a shirasaya keep a sword pristine? I don't know. I don't think there's enough research on that. Good night. Yes, good night, Golden Eagle. Thanks for joining in. Let's see. I've made real Damascus. They hold an edge well. Very cool. And you complain about your collection. I don't complain about your collection. I make fun of you for your long swords, John. But the thing is, I like long swords too. Not your. Well, I do like European long swords, but what I mean is, I like big blades. So, for example, this is my Cloudhammer no Dachi. This is one I'm very. I don't want to part with it. It's a very huge long blade. This one is 39 inches long. The blade. It is folded steel with a beautiful polish. Yeah, I don't complain about your collection, John. I just make fun of you. So. Looking at buying an antique katana as a decorative piece, is it worth buying a real one? If I did buy one, how often do you need to maintain the sword to stop corrosion? Russell, I will say part of it depends on where you are storing it. If you're keeping it in a climate control with low humidity, you probably have to oil it like once every 3 months or so. That's about the amount of time I oil my swords. And that's all you really have to do. As to whether it's worth it, I think that's up to you and what you want in a sword. No cutlasses here, though we do have a Corsair. Let's see. Did Japan have giant warriors? The largest katana is something like 9 feet long. Yeah, that is more of a devotional piece put in temples. Do you have any Chinese straight swords? Yes, I do. There's one right here. This is my favorite. It's the closest one, but I like this one because it is based on Sokka sword from Avatar: The Last Airbender. It is actually 30% meteorite, so you can see like the cool striations in the steel. So it's partially obscured by oil, sadly, but this is a meteorite sword, and I think they're pretty cool. Let's see, and I have some in the background there. Could you reach out to sword stand makers and suggest them try to make stands of clear, translucent material? Yeah, some people do, actually. Some people already do. Let's see. I like to oil my sword and swipe my rag up and down its length. Okay, I see what you did there. How much is the Sokka sword? I've never seen this on my website. It is on the website, and we have 3 different kinds. We have a basic carbon steel version, which is black and has alloy fittings, and it is $200. We have a red and black Damascus, though we might be sold out of it now. A red and black Damascus one with these same fittings for 400 and some, maybe 400 to 425, and this one is with the meteorite is 2,000. This is the most expensive modern sword that we have in stock. Where did we get the Sokka sword and how much was it? So once again, we sell it. Go to our website, rvakatana.com, and we have 3 different types. If your budget is $200, we have a black carbon steel one, which looks probably more like the TV show or the Avatar than the other ones do. Then we have a red and black Damascus, and then we have the actual. It's not completely meteorite. Actually, it's mostly modern steel, but then they weld a meteorite layer to it. So that's it. The meteorites, the interesting thing about them is they have such high impurities that they leave very interesting striations. They're very interesting looking swords. They aren't all black. So I will show you. This is actually one of my first Chinese antique swords. This is a Qing Dynasty style sword right there. So it's about 300 to 400 years old. Are the swords practical? Potentially weird question. Yeah, no, not weird at all. So we do have some swords that are more practical than others. Usually they're made of modern day industrial steels, so they are more practical in that regard. In terms of what swords are, I mean, obviously in the day of the gun, the sword only has limited use. A devotional piece, can you explain? Wait, red and black Damascus, please elaborate. I don't think I have a red and black Damascus here. I'm actually not seeing a red and Damascus here. Let's see, do I have a red and black Damascus? No. So what they do is it's basically two to three types of steel which they fold together and they apply a chemical treatment to it on the surface. And the higher the carbon content is, the redder it is. Let's see. Oh, hey Kratos, I don't know if I saw you. Yeah, I've been on the website because I like katanas, but I haven't bought one yet. Never looked at the straight swords, only katanas. Just look up Sokka, S-O-K-K-A, Sokka. Free samples today? Nope. Or ever. Thank you, Artie Percy, for answering that. Ooh, I am sweating like a beast. Oh, Kratos, I did see your question, but now I can't remember what it was. You caught me right when I was on my way out. That's the bad thing about having a cell phone that reads emails. I'll read an email and then I'll forget about it. Uh, yeah, can someone ban Nick here? He is basically a troll trying to get us to say bad words. The Wear Blades, my first leather wrap, feels good in hand. Awesome, Sith enthusiast. It looks really cool. I think. Thanks for sharing the video. Yeah, don't even just hide him, Kratos. Ban his arse. That kind of stuff irritates the f out of me. So anyway, ooh, looks like it's quieted down all of a sudden. I've been talking nonstop. Love the videos, guys. Love learning, though I don't know if I'll ever be able to get one. As long as you learn something, we're happy. What is the largest sword you'd confidently call useful and the smallest sword you'd call useful? I mean, what is your definition of sword? Let's start there. Because if you're looking at the Japanese definition of it, then you could get a tanto, which is still kind of a sword. And I think those are fine, even at this length. The longest, I think, probably about 3 feet long. Let's see. For a second, I thought you were talking about you. No, Nicholas Shaw, not you at all. There's another somebody who tried to get me to say the N word. Do you have a Zuko style broadsword? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Look on our website under Zuko, and you will find it. RVA Katana also has the option to sharpen your dull. So all our swords are sharp, but some of them, for example, like the cloud hammers, it might be a good idea to get to touch up the edge. And Mark does that. Mark or Matt do that. That is the other Matt. We have two Matts. Thank you for not banning me over the free samples joke. Oh no, it's all good, man. I've made a few karambits. Traditional tanto is way better than American tanto. I think it's all about, I think either are functional. Thank you, Kratos, for posting up. Kratos, between Kratos and Artie Percy, you will be seeing our Discord and our website. Sento Blade from Mortal Kombat. We do not. So let's see. What else can I show you guys here? Got lots of cool stuff. Lots of cool stuff to show off. I will be getting a really cool sword tomorrow, which I'm very excited to get. All about steel and heat treat. Are there any swords you can get which come blunt? I'm planning on getting one for your child. Honestly, get a wooden sword from us, or anywhere for that matter. We do have wooden swords. If you say, well, I don't know what you mean by child, but I would say until someone is mature enough, don't get them a steel blade, because even if it's dull, they're going to try to sharpen it. Guilty. Yeah, I'm sorry. I wish I could go there, but I just seen Sokka's one, and I would really, wow, they make a Sokka sword. Heck yeah. What is the silliest sword? Can you break out my favorite blue daisho? Your favorite blue daisho? Ah, yeah. I was about to list these swords, but I can only list them when I haven't looked at them for a while because they are so freaking cool. These are both papered sword, about 500 years old. 3 to 7 years old. Give him a wooden sword. Seriously, don't give him a metal sword, please. Which sword would be our sharpest? No idea. Sharpness really isn't important as much as edge retention. So here, check that baby out. It's got a really cool folded steel pattern in there. This one also comes with a kozuka. And then here is the katana. This one's also a very wide blade. It has a beautiful hamon line. These are both papered to Mino schools. Look at the size of this kisaki. That is the cutting tip. Huge kisaki. So very big sword here. So yeah, that's a set. Every time I'm about to list them, I look at them and I'm like, no, I can't sell those. Do all the steel blades in your shop have a sharp edge, or a few didn't say? They're all sharp. Yeah. So yeah, 500 is, 500-year-old swords are not super uncommon. And when we say 500 years old, we're not talking about the scabbard and everything. We're just talking about the steel blade inside, because they can change over the years. Many swords wear many different fittings over the years. So here's actually a really cool sword. This is a Kanetoshi, and this is actually in stunningly good condition. This is a Tachi, and it is once again, very beautiful condition. Big kisaki with the sobohi. I'm drooling. Yeah. How much would the blue ones if you would sell them? 8,500. That's 8,500. That's what they're listed for on the website. Well, they're in draft form. Every time I'm about to activate them, I change my mind. How do you get 500-year-old steel? There are plenty of people selling them. There are, once again, 500-year-old swords are not super uncommon. The Nagamaki has not come out. Let's see. I am actually getting another Nagamaki tomorrow. It's coming. I'm very excited about it. It's not as big as this one. This is my biggest. This is 700 years old, give or take, 50 years. And this one is really cool. It's called a Nagamaki. It has an Okisaki. So if you thought that last Kisaki was big, this one's even bigger. This one does have battle damage. So you can see the nick right there. And so this sword has seen battle. So it's kind of cool. The sword I'm getting tomorrow actually has 4 to 6 nicks. I haven't counted them yet. I was told by the seller it has 4 to 6 nicks. Let's see. Let's see. Can you be sure it's 500 years old? Is there a check test or something? So Anna A, what we do is they are submitted to a panel of experts and they will gauge the age of the sword. And they'll do that based upon the condition of the tang, the shape. There are a lot of factors that go in identifying a swords maker. The fact that storage kind of wood is called a shirasaya. It's not necessarily the shirasaya that keeps them clean, because you have a sword in shirasaya and don't take care of it, it's still going to rust. So it helps, but it's not everything to it. There's a lot to preserving a sword. Yeah, this was an Okisaki. O means big for those of you who don't know. Okisaki. Most of my swords are big. So yes, I make fun of John Smicka for his big swords, saying he's compensating for something, but I have bigger swords. Well, not necessarily bigger than John's swords. That's beginning to sound really wrong. But I do prefer big swords. Big and old. That sounds really wrong too. And curved. Big, old, and curved. So check this guy out. This is made by Chiyozuru. This is a family or a lineage that comes out of Echizen, Japan. A lot of sword families, a lot of lineages or schools come from there. And this one is also in really nice shape. I don't know how well you can see the details of the steel. I'll try to get my face out of it so that you can see the details of the steel better. But this one is also in stunningly good condition. I was really surprised when I got it. And so here, check this baby out. Check out the curve on this. This has a massive curve. So huge curve. The sori is 3.9 for those of you who know what sori is. So yeah, I really like this one, and it has a fairly modern saya. It looks like it's hardwood actually. It's kind of a boring saya. In fact, it's like it looks like someone actually. Now I've looked at it carefully. It looks like someone took a shita saya and then lacquered it. So, but still, cool sword. I definitely like it. And it was definitely made for the sword because you don't usually see them this curved. Let's see. And I'm not seeing any comments. I didn't realize that all these comments went by. I'm sorry, I didn't see anything after Okisaki. Does battle damage increase or decrease the value? That depends on the person. Some people want swords and will pay more for damage value. Let's see. So I'm sorry, I missed all the comments. If I didn't answer your question, feel free to ask again. Do you still have the first sword I ever bought? No. What a sword. Oops. Let's see the sword with the red sheath. I can do that. Favorite brand for heavy cutting katanas that you guys have on our website? Cloudhammer. Let's see. Yeah, if I missed your question, let me know. I was wondering why there were no things and just happened to not scroll down. Why would one prefer a more curved sword or a less curved sword? More curved swords were usually used from horseback. They were touchy, and you'll see that even with swords from around the world. That the more curved they are more likely to be used by cavalry, but that's not always the case. This one I eventually need to take the saran wrap off of it, but I think it's so cool. I really love the detail on this. Check out the tsuba on that, the guard. This is very similar to a Japanese danban tsuba. Thank you, Kratos, for posting our Discord. Would old swords be better quality than new ones? In what respect? In terms of durability, no. Modern swords, just because the science of metallurgy has come so far that modern swords are generally are more durable than old ones. Now, in terms of craftsmanship, the old ones are generally better. What do you plan on doing with these swords once you die? Probably, I don't know. I haven't quite decided. Zuko broadsword, we do have them in the shop. I don't have them here. So, someone has sharp claws, they say. Let's see. I don't know if the comments stopped or whether I just, oh, nope, the comments have stopped. Once again, if I missed your question, feel free to ask it again. I am going to be shutting down pretty soon because I'm really hot in this room. I hope I'm not catching a cold because when you go to conventions, you're exposed to so many people and you're bound to catch something. I'm pretty sure this is my time to catch COVID. I have yet to catch COVID. Knock on wood, but I'm pretty sure it's my time. So, what else can I show you? What else can I answer? What is a good book to learn about katana? The Connoisseur's Guide to the Japanese Swords. Excellent book. Odachi to show. Oh, Adrian, I know you like Odachi. I mean, every time you've come to the shop, you've always looked for the big swords. Here's the one that I have here at home. This is a Cloudhammer folded steel Odachi. It is 39 centimeters blade length. Chinese swords versus Japanese swords, I think that's a matter of opinion. We have 500 swords in shop. Sith enthusiast, hey, I want at least one Shidasaya on the rack, but I want to get something other than T10 or 1095. We also have it in 1065, 1060, 65 MN. Let's see. L6 or S5 for all around good blade, and I love Hitatsura Hamon on it. Thanks for all the knowledge. Well, you're not going to find S5 with any kind of natural Hamon on it. Hitatsura, I don't know if anyone's doing Hitatsura on an L6 blade. Also, L6 is good, but it's the only one who really does L6 well is Howard Clark, and that's going to cost you 10,000. The wave pattern on the steel is called a Hamon. Do you guys ever come to Canada or US only? We're pretty much I only stay in the US. I haven't been to Canada in probably I think it's been 20 years since I visited Canada. Hello, Armed Archangel. You can buy a sword from us at rvakatana.com. rvakatana.com. Thank you, Kratos, for posting that. I don't have any Taiji swords there, but we can get them. Japanese versus Chinese swords. In what way? I mean, there's so many ways to compare. So, I mean, that's such a broad general question. Ever consider little wood carving knives? No, probably not. Let's see. Ranch on pizza. I do ranch on pizza. How will a Saka sword cut compared to the different versions of itself you sell? They are not cutting swords. I mean, you can cut with them, but we never have. Actually, we cut with the baseline version, but it's not something we do. They're not really meant for cutting. You can cut with them because they are full tang and sharp, but they're not really meant. I mean, essentially, those type of swords are stabbing swords anyway. You can cut with them, but they're not great cutters. I'm sure you guys will be a big hit at our conventions in Quebec. Yeah, we don't actually do conventions the whole lot. It's not really worth our time to try to transport swords and stuff. It's not very easy. Plus, there are a lot of sword makers at conventions to compete against. Definitely buying from you Murasame swords on Amazon. Picked up a T10 from them with a Choji Hamon. Really not too bad. Fed up. So talk to Samurai Bird here on YouTube, and he loves Murasame. So they must be doing something really well. Inspect them and do. You want us to test cut with them, Poser? Poser, what is your order number so I can double check? Let's see. Soon as I get some money, hope I can get the sword. Surging Dragon. You should call this channel the RVA Katana Historical Channels. Thank you. What states we can ship to any state? My Dragon Spring Odi Damascus came in. It's amazing and been practicing EI Jitsu. So if you're doing EI with a Dragon Spring sword, like their lower end ones, like spray lacquer down the handles, the wrap, because the wrap will loosen up over time. They aren't the tightest wrap in the world. I mean, basically to get a nice wrap, you're going to be paying at least $200 for on our swords. At about 200 is when you start seeing really good wrap. Best time to wear a striped sweater is all the time. That's debatable. Planning to stop by Friday. Super excited. Awesome, Zach. Welcome. I should be there in the afternoon. Anybody else lose money on Nvidia today? No. I heard something about the stock market crash. I should look into that because I usually buy after crashes, and let them make money afterwards. All right, it's getting late, so I'm going to be shutting down. 4252. Poser, send me an email so I don't forget. Song kan ma dao. Oh, kan ma dao. Okay, I don't have a song kan ma dao. I do have a ming shang dao, which is related to a song kan ma dao, but not exactly. Can you give me any kind of history behind the kind of sword Saka has? It's called a hanjian. Taiji swords have a rounder handle, like an hourglass, not an hourglass shape, but the opposite, reverse hourglass shape. I can't think of the name of that right now, but fatter in the middle. They're Qing Dynasty, Ming Dynasty style swords versus the Saka sword is a Han Dynasty style sword. Thank you, Artie Percy says. Tells you how to do the clear lacquer. Hey, Artie Percy, if you want to do a video doing that, I'll post it. That's very helpful. Just got your class custom from Hanbon, had them do Hishigame. I'll tell you that it is very tight wrap. Awesome. Hanbon does a good job for the price. Do you have Odachi? Yes, yes, I do. I've already shown it a couple times, so, and I'm about to shut down because I'm getting really hot in here. Let's see. Bye, RVA Katana. Well, thank you, Anna, for watching. Yeah, Poser, send me an email so I can confirm what exactly you ordered, and hopefully they haven't shipped it. I haven't been in the shop since Friday because I was out of town. Look at me. See I'm glistening. I'm sweating like a beast. I'm not much of a sweater, but yet here I am. Okay. Oh, here we are. Let's see. I don't know of any custom scabbard makers. Okay, I will talk to you guys later. Good night.